the scene, been around
Hey, Mr.
since
J,
said
you ain't never
'94,
been
my
nobody
first
else.
time in the studio. So down there where used to be Unique Studios on Person Street. That was my first time going in the studio down there. So, been around. Did one of our first shows down there at the Prince Charles Radisson in about
Shout out to Dizzle
99.
Brand.
So
Shout out to
that was
Dizzle
when
Brand.
DJ
A mixture of fruit juices and liqueurs.
Okay.
Yeah, shouts out to Dizzle.
Been known to drop some panties.
So you want to talk Fayetteville?
Sorry, Mr. J. Mr. J, I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off, sir. My man.
How can Fayetteville get more connected?
Well, I think it's just people got to show up. People got to, know what's going on. I keep telling people, from interview to interview, you got to continue to network with people, continue to kind of step out of your comfort zone, find out what people are doing, find out what people have going on, and just kind of tap in with them, just sit down and have, casual conversations. Don't even necessarily have to be about music. It's just once you start creating relationships with people, then you start finding out, what people are doing, what they're interested in, what they're about. And sometimes that's not what happens. Sometimes, people just kind of show up and what this person can do for me or that person can do for me. And that's not how it's going to work. Create the generation, you stop the generation gap by creating genuine relationships.
What do you think, in Face?
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with. I mean, definitely talking logic. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we all got our own unique spot. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's I don't know why we compete so hard. The competition thing really don't get me a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. I don't feel like just because I don't like something don't mean I'm your enemy, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like your music is music and love is love. I feel like we, more than anything else, we pit ourselves against each other and we got this competition thing. Once again, I hate to invoke these all the time, but the comparison is it's a genre, it's a musical genre to me in this aspect. Like, yes, and it's a whole lot more than just that. And you got to be more real to do hip hop than you can go on there and put makeup on and do rock and roll and be, Izzy Cat and nobody gives a fuck. Wake up with heroin in you, but you do that in the hip hop world, you're done. You're ostracized, you're finished. So there's a level of authenticity you have to carry in hip hop that's different than other musical genres, and I think that fades, and I think that's what's gonna ultimately change. Though, y'all don't feel like that's gonna change?
I don't have a lot of faith in Fayetteville. I haven't seen, like, you talk about competition.
I got no faith in Fayetteville. I got faith in you, and I got faith in Jay. Like, I
got faith in individuals, but these individuals are not bringing this thing together as a collective. And I think
we're beginning to see that happen, though, thanks to you and thanks to a lot of other people in that have the means to do it or doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, for example, like a cat, like I do a lot of podcasting now. Kaz is doing podcasting. We don't necessarily got to be the rapper guys, the faces. We could be playing different roles. Right. We could be playing podcasting roles and media roles and things of that nature. But the competition always comes in, because it always seems like somebody got to always be the star of the show, the face, and they can't just settle with their roles and stuff.
Kaz, prayers to his mom. He'd be on this show right now, but his mom, he's dealing with, he takes care of his moms. A lot of people don't know that shit, and she's in a bad, and he'd be right. He wants to be here tonight. I'm gonna tell you that right now, straight up. And you can quote me on that.
Prayers out to his family.
Absolutely. So Kaz wants to be a part of this podcast 100%. Kaz is doing a lot. Kaz is definitely free to give his time to anybody hits him up, man. I stop by there frequently, actually. And Kaz, he definitely is a Fayetteville dude like you, P. Like, I feel like if I call on you and say, yo, we doing this Fayetteville shit, you gonna show up. Jay, you gonna show up. You're gonna see Hood the mayor there, and he gonna say Face Mob. I mean, You know what I'm saying? I don't expect motherfuckers to all of a sudden wake up and be Mr. 26. You know, no matter what they shout on the internet, you see what's up. You know what the city is. So work with what we got. If we work with what we got, then our shit gonna blow up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's bound to happen, bro. We got mad talent in this city, man. This city is on par with like large cities, bro, as far
I
as
just
talent.
think we have a problem following through, and this is why. Like I went to Barry Williams invited me. He invited me down to speak at his studio, and when I got there, I was a little nervous because there was a bunch of radio guys, and the radio guys basically was like, "Yo, y'all ain't ready for radio. You need to go to internet." And I was on the internet guy, so they kind of iterated what I was gonna say, but the only people that called me after the joint was the radio guys. Like, so he has all these artists come down here, listen to radio guys talk, listen to me talk. These radio guys are sitting there validating everything I'm saying before I even say it. And nobody follows through with the radio guys. Nobody follows through with me. And the only people calling me is the radio guys and me calling the radio guys, that, you know, vice versa. And it's like, that's a problem.
So he's speaking
That's
on
the
like
problem.
you mean Barry Williams?
Well,
Not
like
hitting you
when
back?
you, no, the artist.
Oh.
He has all these artists coming and
Yeah.
we speak in front of artists and not when artist follows through. You know, so it's like you got talkers and you got walkers, man. And there's not a lot of walkers in Fayetteville.
Yeah, so
I think the problem is that once again it goes back to kind of the commercial thing. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to kind of make money real quick and hop in and make
They don't
off.
want to go through the process.
Yeah, they don't want to do the work. Some of them.
Yeah, but once I see you not walking, then I ain't walking with you either. So I mean, yes, I mean, but the energy can be just as easily dispelled just like that. So you know that, P, man. Like I'm sure you tried to get you see how long it takes to even get the smallest thing together in the Ville sometimes, man.
Yeah, I mean, cause like I remember when the like who would we say is the biggest independent label movements in Fayetteville that we've seen?
Label movies that we've seen.
Independent label movements in Fayetteville. I mean, like one of the biggest was Loudmouth, right?
Stars, Loudmouth. I don't know. You guys name something.
Why did those things go wrong?
First to Flight was kind of big for a minute.
First to Flight. I mean, that was one of the most talented groups. But I hate to say this, to me, it was just a bunch of individuals under a same name.
Well, I saw the Project Stars and the whole the Spunk, Big Cats, all them, and the Loudmouth. I saw them make a lot of money, so I know they made a lot of money. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why do you think? What'd you ask, P? Why do you think what?
I was talking about the biggest independent label movement, so why we didn't think they didn't work.
Well, as far as Fayetteville Central.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I ever seen the biggest stars that we know of our era and a little beyond, our mini generation 2.0, whatever, it's always been because motherfuckers is knuckleheads. Can't stay out of goddamn jail, make the wrong decisions over and over again. You know what I'm saying? They can't differentiate a musical persona from their real life. They don't understand Mick Jagger. That motherfucker still goes and has a real life. You can't be big face 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? You got to exist as a person too. I don't know, man. If we fall off, we get our we get our shit bagged up.
Yeah, because I mean, like I personally felt like Fayetteville history. When I go back and look at it, I felt like Bomb Shelter.
We never spent money historically, right? Nobody spends any money.
No.
No one wants to spend money on marketing or packaging or a street team or billboard.
And if you can't afford it individually, then what do you got to do? You got to try to afford it collectively.
Well, you can afford a lot more. The thing. Hey, motherfuckers can afford $500-$600 a month in trees, bro. They can afford a lot. Motherfuckers can afford more than they think.
No, you're right. You're right. They spend too much on trees.
$1,000 a month in trees, another $300 in Newports.
Yeah,
that's $1,300 a month.
Yeah,
I know because I spend that.
So but priorities.
Well, this is too.
Priorities. We got to get our priorities together.
priorities, and everybody was segmented. I mean, if everybody decided at one point to go in collectively, it would have been a different thing.
Northside camp. Gotta unpack my bowl. Hang on a second, y'all. Unpack my bowl.
So you were saying everybody segmented. Like, explain that a little bit more. Just the too many subgroups, right?
Yeah, I mean, individuals were kind of, everybody was on their own side of town, their own side of, everybody had their own thing going. And, a lot of times if you moved in the same direction, you know what I'm saying? If everybody moved in the same direction, we would have had that motion for the town, for the city. Everybody kind of had their own agendas, and the radio played into it too. They had kind of had their own agenda, picking different people. And, when you could have really just blew everybody up and said, oh, we've got something bubbling here. We need to truly invest in it and truly push these people to the top.
And
I always talk about, places like Oakland, places like Houston.
The hip music works. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't tug of war the whole damn scene from your town. You know what I'm saying? But we should utilize who's made it before us to let us make it. You feel me? Like, and maybe not in the way we think, right? Maybe not signing J. Cole is not coming to sign nobody, but the motherfucker made Fayetteville and the 2-6 a viable, sellable option moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I have, different, someday, you catch me on the wrong day, I'll be like, yeah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? We need to stand more together as a city for sure. The city definitely has been fragmented in the past because not only the hip hop, man, just because the street culture of the city. The hood's culture, the west side, the east side, the north side, south side. I mean, people can sleep on whatever they want, but a lot of cities have a good side and a bad side of town. Fayetteville got a bad side of town on every side of town.
We've had a lot of neighborhoods beefing through the years. When I was in school, Bunts beefing with Bunts Road beef with everybody.
Worldwide up in the 2-6. That's why it's a because you got to yell that out just to get some help. You might be getting jumped. If you hear just don't holler it back, motherfucker. Come and kick this motherfucker off me.
I just feel like North Carolina as a whole should be a little bit further though.
Yes, I agree, 100%. I feel like we've given a lot to not only musical but popular culture, as far as stars, as far as movies, television, everything. And I feel like, we're looked at as the place you go to hide out if you're from New York, or the place you stop before you move to Florida. I mean, you know what I mean? But we more than that, the Mid-Atlantic.
We always looked at, we're like the Clippers. We looked at like the Clippers. Like we're like the little brother.
Oh, come on, don't get
like the little brother. We're like the little cousin of New York and stuff or something.
Hey, by the way, here's the nipples, because without them, tits would be pointless.
So what do you think, Jay? You think North Carolina should have been a little further right now? Like, I mean, we got the Baby, J. Cole, Fantasia, we got Anthony Hamilton, P.D. Pablo, Ninth Wonder, Little Brother. Ain't Rhapsody from North Carolina?
Yeah, she's from Ahoskie, North Carolina. Yeah, Ahoskie.
What the hell is that?
That's like going up almost to the Virginia line, going east.
Oh, she's right at the border.
Yeah.
And then we're like the
we had a lot of people. We had Entice. Entice was in the the Deadly Venoms, and she's from Winston-Salem.
I mean, and even Black Sheep shouted
this
us
and
out
that
because they went to school. Black Sheep shouted us out because they went to school here.
Well, Mr. Long, his family's from Sanford.
He's from Sanford. Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Mr. Long's family from Sanford. We had This and That. I think it was This and That. They I believe they went to Westover and they moved to Atlanta. Little Mo, my actual friend E, his father was a teacher. He taught her in middle school, even though she claims Brooklyn, I believe, but she's from here.
Oh yeah, definitely Little Mo's from here. Yeah, absolutely.
So we've given a lot.
From like Shaw University, it was heavy around here, like Lords. Like Lords have always had heavy ties to this area, and now one of them lives here, of course. So, I mean, Big Daddy Kane and Raleigh. I mean, going back,
Terminator X.
Justice League. I mean, we can go back and back and back beyond that. We can go back to Jodeci, who grew up in
Jodeci, I forgot
Sanford.
about Jodeci.
Casey Haley. So here's an interesting story. I have an interesting background. You know what I'm saying? My mom married my stepdad, Anthony Talmadge, when I was 1. He's a African American. You know what I'm saying? Ex-military, was a preacher here in Fayetteville at New Macedonia Free Will Baptist at the end of Bunch Road and Rafer Road for many, many years. He retired recently. I love him. Shout out to Pops. Love you, Pop. So, and he was friends with Reverend Haley. So out in Sanford, he had a church. And back when I was a young child at New Macedonia in the choir, I was a bass. Of course, I was a bass. And I learned how to play piano there. But so they came, and the Haley children came. And JoJo was probably then, I was probably like 6 or 7. He was probably like 13, 12. And them boys were blowing back then. They used to travel around to the black churches in North Carolina. And a couple years later, I'm listening to Father MC, and they're all over his record, by the way. People forget that before they ever had a record, they blew Father MC's biggest record ever up on 3 or 4 tracks, and he made more money than ever. So, I mean, North Carolina's musical roots is fucking unquestionable, bitch. Talk shit if you want to. I mean, and Fayetteville in general, stronger than most. Charlotte and Raleigh look at us, and they're, say what you want on the internet. I hope these comments down here, y'all gonna say what you want. But to be the smallest of the 3, y'all look at us like we the real street shit. I mean, the 2-6 is the real street shit, and Durham is the real street shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, shout out Josie Mo.
They look at us like troublemakers, man. When we go out of town, they look at us like the number 1 troublemakers.
Oh, we got mad talent, and
because we always got to shout and 2-6 and let everybody know where we from. We got everybody and
why not?
2-6, Fayettenam 2-6. I don't see like Charlotte like and Queen City, Queen.
No, that's the 5-2, by the way, and nobody wants to be from the 5-2, so fuck that. Everybody moves to the 5-2. Like the dopest artist in Charlotte is Eric Lottery, and he's from 2-6. Eric Lottery, shout out Eric Lottery, blowing up on everything, RNG, all that. But he's from here, so I mean, once again, and 3-4 million streams on 5 million streams on Spotify. Charlotte, one of Charlotte's dopest artists, speaks on what you're saying, man.
Don't we need an office?
What do you say? You asked Jay earlier, or whatever. You asked him where he's from, boss. Like you, I mean, we're all born somewhere, but we all raised here. So that's a real cool ass mix of different styles.
I'm from Cape Fear Valley Hospital, so
hey, shout out to you, man. Big up to you, my son, who's I love more than anybody. He's from there too. But I was born in Brockton, Massachusetts, a suburb of Boston, where the famous Marvin Hagler and you know what I'm saying, of course, Rocky Marciano are from. Now, I moved here when I was...
Okay. Everyone talk about Rocky Marciano.
Brockton, Mass, the Brockton Blockbuster. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm from. But I moved here when I was 2.5. So, but from one gritty city, Brockton, which in Massachusetts is the same thing as Fayetteville, is a city where all the Haitians are, the Portuguese. I'm half Portuguese. My dad's from there. So it's the little grimy city outside of Boston that nobody wants to go to. Marvin Hagler from there. So same thing. Like I moved here when I was 2.5. So I love it that those 2 cities have that kind of same feeling. But I'm from here, man. Like fuck around, find out. Like I'm from here. I was raised here, born here. 71st Elementary, Lewis Chapel. 71st. I briefly went to Douglasburg and Southview because I was a fucked up teenager. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But shout out to Cape Fear Valley, and don't go there if you can avoid it, like a motherfucker.
Man. Don't look. That's my request. Don't let me die there. It's life flight me to UNC or something.
Fly me to Duke, fly me to Duke, bitch. Hey, fly me to Duke. Fly me to Duke, bitch. I don't care about no rivalries.
I forgot you a Duke fan.
Oh, not only am I a Duke fan, hey, UNC fan or not, you better get flown to Duke. You better have Robert Samajani work on your shit.
Yeah, I'm sure you know who my Facebook post today about Team USA looking like a bunch of firemen and plumbers was referencing.
Well, you look like a motherfucking electrician.
JJ Redick.
Don't hate on
Jay
Reddit because
Reddit.
hate on Reddit because he was super wet all the goddamn time.
Now, let me ask
That
you this: do
USA,
we need?
that Team USA was already going to look like
Hang
it
on
just
one
looked like a
second.
whole squad
Second.
of
Second.
Team B, man. No stars on that squad.
Now, let me ask you this, Mr. J: do we need North Carolina or Fayetteville necessarily be bigger? Or we just need to be focused on ourselves as individuals.
Once again, my thing goes back to what I say all the time in every interview, every time I interview with somebody, networking. I mean, you got to create this network. You got to be able to, you know, go out here and work with other artists, work with other people, and just try to work with like-minded folks, man. I think that's the only way it's going to work. I mean, I really
Well, let me
wish we
ask you this though.
were more like like Oakland and like Houston in that sense where people, yeah, they had their kind of beefs and all that stuff. They kind of had their discord, but they were still able to push out and create a culture that is recognizable to the rest of hip hop at large. There's people out here who know, what I'm saying, when you start talking about Oakland, you can talk about individuals, JT the Bigger Figure, E40, talk about the hyphy movement, Mac Dre, all those things. You know what I'm saying? When people really drill down on. Same way for Houston, talk about Trader Truth, Bun B, even though they're from Port Arthur, Texas. Um, that whole, Texas movement, Scarface, Ghetto Boys, all that stuff. You can talk about that, but that's what we need to hear. Continuously talk about the artists that we have here. Continuously try to network with the artists that we have here and give them their flowers. You know what I mean? Whether we jive with everybody or roll with everybody, we still need to be able to kind of reach out and network with everybody.
Do you think we're like a big enough state though that we should have a major music market? Like, I mean, like, look at Tennessee, man. I mean, I would think we're bigger state than Tennessee.
Oh well, but the only thing is they have an inherent advantage with the whole Nashville country music scene. They have an
Yeah,
embedded, like
yeah.
mini Hollywood of the music land. So they get offshoot from that. But yeah, man. I mean, of course, I feel I. Who can argue with that, P? Like, who can argue that our population and the cast that we got in the places that we have, shouldn't have more pull?
The universities we have, and we got more major universities than any state. We got a bunch of military bases. We got
Well, we
people
know
coming
not a
in.
bunch. We have the largest military base in the world right here,
So
187,000 troops.
I mean,
Fort
we got people
Liberty.
coming in and
Y'all
out
too,
from every
Fort
city, every
Bragg.
state. You know, I just feel like we should have a bigger scene, though.
Look
I
at
think
Jay.
it's
You love
it's
that Fort
it's,
Bragg
it's
shit. Look
growing.
at Mr. J.
What you say?
And y'all too, Fort Liberty. Hell no.
Oh
Hell
man.
no.
Oh, let's not even
Never.
go there because I can't even call it that.
You could have gave me that $3 million. I'd have just slapped you until you called it Fort Bragg again.
Eh,
The $3 million on just the signs, by the way. Just the signs.
And not a
you
that
know,
you wouldn't
I
throw
think
it out
this
there.
this
And they
That's
took that right out of
Rockefeller
our
land.
pockets before you even got your check. They took it right out your money before they gave it to you, just which is against the Constitution. Let's not get into that. I'd
All
rather
right,
you
fellas,
bill
we
me.
about to be
Let's just
hitting
say
an
that.
hour, man. So I'm about to be wrapping it up here in a second.
Actually, this is magic. We went longer last week, huh?
Yeah.
So we got to do this like it's to give you enough actual content, man, to cut up and
We're gonna
chop
have to
up.
go earlier, man, and we
We should
gotta
do
have
two
everybody more
segments,
on
or
sync
maybe you should
too.
do two segments in the week and let you chop them up. You know what I mean?
It depends on the schedules of everybody.
I work with everybody. Listen, I will work with whatever y'all cats got to work with, man. Honestly, I like what you're doing, P. I believe in what you're doing. So, I mean, whatever I work with it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we gotta check with Z too, and I don't know what Mr. J's
I'm
schedule be
about to
like
call
during the week.
Jones when I get off here because I'm shocked. Like right before we got on here, I called him. He said, "Yeah, I can't wait to get on there." I was like, "Yeah," because he had some story. I was like, "Oh." Then I was doing something, and then boom, we were on, and Jones
sent
wasn't
him
there.
the link, man. And he ain't hit me back, man. So
That's crazy.
yep. But yeah, I'm about to get off here, fellas. And
All right, bro.
we're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna see what everybody's schedule is. If anybody can ramp it up for 2 more pieces a week or whatnot.
Oh, Paul Masson, before we get off here, I want you to give me a solid
And
yeah, baby. My God. Mr. J, I appreciate you, P. I appreciate what you do, Paul Masson, man. I appreciate you for the culture, bro. Honestly, I look at you as just like all of us, Bomb Shelter, me, you, Character Assassins, like so many more, man. Like Frandy, the list goes on and on and on. But we all
I
are
forgot
pieces
about
of a
Fran
chain,
D.
bro.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah, man,
about
we all
Fran D.
pieces. By the way, he's still around here. Don't think I can't pull his ass out the dredges either. You know what I'm saying?
Who's
Like
that,
I'd love to
Frandy?
get him on the podcast. We should get Fran D on here next week. I think I can do that. And then just we're links in the chain, man. But we are the ones working and just work, man. I see you working, bro, for real. Motherfuckers can, hate is form of form of love. Just remember that, bro.
I'm about to ramp it up on them too. So
I know. And hey, I'm about to drop the Circle of Kings podcast October 1st, with exclusively funded by Walk On Sports Bar and Bare Knuckle UKC. And we're all about to benefit from this shit, man. I built my studio today. My walls went up over there at the tattoo shop. All my floors going in. So, hey, man, we're all gonna, I'm here for everybody. I'm for the city and definitely y'all, for real. Definitely the hip hop artists from my era.
all right. How about y'all later, man?
All right, bro.
All right, peace.
Peace.